Google's landmark antitrust case front and center this week with big implications for the broader search market. Our next guest is the co-founder of AI company Perplexity, and it's taking a lot of market share. Joining us right now in an exclusive interview, Perplexity's co-founder and CEO, Arvind Srinivas. Good morning to you. It's great to see you.
Morning. Thank you for having me.
You are taking share. It's I think all of us at the table have been using it. We've talked about how Stan Druckenmiller famously came on our air and I think introduced it to a lot of folks. By the way, I'm told that when he came on, you like had a massive increase in.
Yeah, that day was one of our biggest daily ARR increases.
Yeah.
Probably still top 2 or 3.
It's fast, Andrew. You tried to use Grok yesterday, and I was waiting. It was like waiting for Godot. It's like thinking. I want it fast. I don't care if it's right. I'm a journalist, but I do want it fast.
You weren't a journalist.
I'm a mainstream media journalist. Why do I need facts?
Let me ask you just what's going on in this space right now, because you've been continuing to upgrade the product in a remarkable way. But there's now a whole bunch of people doing a lot of different things. So you're trying to own the search space. Google's also trying to own the search space.
Yeah.
You've got Grok in there trying to do something with sort of super timely stuff, leveraging its data feed off of X. And then you have the ChatGPTs and the Anthropics, more ChatGPT, trying to be also in the search space, but doing a lot of other stuff. Anthropic probably less so right now. How does this all play out over time in your mind?
So our recognition has always been for providing it fastest and most accurate in terms of, and also we pride ourselves on the fact that we can do it the most efficient way. If you look at people who offer APIs for search-grounded LLMs, that is LLMs which provide real-time information and citations along with the completions, we're able to offer the cheapest API right now, along with the highest accuracy, even better than OpenAI and Google. That's thanks to our own infrastructure, making it more efficient, fast, and stuff. So that's clear differentiation. That said, I do think this market of like just providing answers to questions will be a commodity. It's kind of hard to understand. Like 1 year ago, it was not a commodity. Like let's say we were doing it, ChatGPT were doing it, but now many people are going to do the same thing.
So what's going to be the thing, the layer that's going to make each service, including your own, distinct?
I think actions like like multi-step chain research, workflows and actions. Okay, go and read all my reports, go read the news on relevant stocks, look at my portfolio. Now become my wealth manager and tell me like how should I change it? As you know, read everyday news about tariffs and inform me like about my exposure to certain stocks. That level of analysis and insights and actions, like you need that sort of an agent. And then you also need agents that can go do real browsing sessions, not like one query, but the equivalent of an entire search session. That's why we started working on the browser. It's called Comet. It's still not out yet, but it should be out next month.
Talking about browsers, I was curious. I don't know if you saw OpenAI saying that they would consider buying Google's Chrome browser.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
We testified, one of our executives testified yesterday. The same exact question, what we said is, look, we don't want to buy Chrome. If Google were forced to sell it, like, we don't recommend that. We told the DOJ. Like,
you said you didn't want them to break up, effectively.
Yeah.
I'm curious why, given that you're competing directly against them.
Yeah, and by the way, your executive said it's like a gun to your head, these Google contracts that are out there. What do you want?
So that I really agree with. That's a separate issue on the Android side. As far as Chrome is concerned, Chrome actually was coupled with an open source project called Chromium. Since we all use the word wrapper, right? Microsoft's Edge browser is a Chromium wrapper, and it's the #2 browser by market share. So Google has contributed to other browsers too.
In a sort of open source like way.
Exactly. We are building a browser called Comet, and Comet is actually being built on top of Chromium as well.
Okay.
There are several other browsers like Brave built on top of Chromium. So you cannot just take away Chrome without Chromium. Someone has to maintain it, open source it. And I don't actually think, historically, reputation-wise, OpenAI has been pro-open source.
So you think if somebody else buys it, it would be worse, and they would not allow you
I
to
would
do the things
expect
you're
that
doing?
because at least Google has established a track record of maintaining the open source project, even if their number one rival, Microsoft, is building a competitive product to them. I don't think you can say that about OpenAI.
But this is interesting. You know, you're telling the government, hey, they're definitely monopolistic in some of their actions, not in others. But it's going to hose you.
Nobody's evil. Like you know, they've done some wrong things. They've done some great things too. You got to take a balanced perspective. So that's why we said, look, don't break the company up. It's not even in American interest to break it up. It's one of the top 3 or 4 stocks by market cap. What we said is, really what you want is competition and consumers to have a choice. What they're doing on Android is like bad right now. We have like an Android app, an Android assistant that can control the OS natively. And they're not letting us like get it on OEMs, even if the OEMs want it.
Right.
We're having a partnership with Motorola, for example, where they're going to pre-install our apps. But our assistant that can call other apps and do work for you was clearly superior to Gemini. It was written on several blog posts by Android Authority, Android Central, and like nobody wanted to take the brave step of removing Gemini as the default assistant and making Perplexity the default assistant, because if they do that, they're unable to offer Play Store, Maps, YouTube, preloaded on these phones. And if you cannot offer that, nobody can really install other apps on the market.
Well, if you feel that way about Android, how do you feel about Apple?
Well, Apple's like always been close, so they've at least adopted a certain framework.
Okay.
Android started off as an open framework and has been moving more towards like Apple style, right? So you have to have a consistent position. And I don't think like the default search on Apple is like fixed, right? Like it's fixed through Google paying for it. It's not Apple's own service. But we brought out our assistant on Apple too, and we would love to be part of like Siri or Apple Intelligence once they open it up to more people. The hope is that both Android and iOS allow the user to pick the AI that they want for certain tasks.